Hello everyone and welcome to this FPL Gameweek 16 press conference stream with me, Holly Shand. I'm coming slightly earlier today, 1 hour earlier at 12 p.m. rather than 1 o'clock because, as you can see, a busy day for press conferences, supposedly spread out a little bit more than usual. We've got Aston Villa and Spurs coming up at 12 o'clock, which is now Man City at 12:30. So I thought it was important to go live so that I could cover them as they come in. As always, I say make sure you've got the notify button on because that'll let you know when I go live if there are earlier press conferences from one week to the next. We've already got Rannoch in modding, so thank you so much. It's been a tight turnaround to the deadlines and it looks to be another brutal week in terms of injuries. We already heard yesterday Mbeumo out for weeks with an ankle injury. Well, I don't know why I put back. Mbeumo out for weeks though, so he's a definite sell because Brentford obviously blanking game week 18 anyway for the Club World Cup. Then he should be off to AFCON in January. Son and Porro were both seen limping for Spurs after the defeat to West Ham last night. That's why the Postecoglou press conference is so important. We also seen Lascelles went off with a possible dead leg for Newcastle yesterday. No Newcastle press conference today or Everton. Yesterday we heard from Burnley, Forest and Brentford. So we're going to have to go in blind a bit, but we should get some embargoed quotes through from those press conferences. But the majority of the press conferences are coming today. So hopefully we can cover as much of that as possible. If you are in, come and say hello in the chat. I'll get into my transfers in a bit, but keen to get over to the tweet deck to make sure that we're not going to miss anything in terms of press conferences. To be fair, it all looks quiet at the moment. I think what's going to happen is the press conferences are going to be later than the advertised time just to screw everything up for us. But we are across all of the news today. So it's going to be a big one in terms of navigating through the injuries, I'm afraid. It feels like every week you think, oh, it can't be as bad as last week. And then it gets worse. So I don't quite know how we're going to get through another week. I'm looking at my squad. I've got players flagged, players that I want to sell, but I don't know if I can sell them because I've got more pressing moves to make in terms of injuries. And it just makes it really, really difficult. And there'll be some people that have gone round and round with midfield transfers. We've had the injury to Maddison. We had the injury to Eze. We've had then the injury to Mbeumo, and it's like they could have been transferring out one injured player for another. So it's just a bit chaotic at the moment. I'm going to head over to look at my team first of all. I've got 2 free transfers. I haven't made any moves yet. In terms of the moves I'm making, I was looking at Mbeumo out for Palmer and Burke out for Colwill. But I am more tempted with Porro. He definitely passed the eye test last night. The little injury niggle could be enough to put me off, but I want to leave money in the bank to go from Darwin back to Watkins at some point, probably as soon as next week, we'll see. It all depends on how Darwin does, but I'm pretty confident Darwin starts this weekend because obviously he was benched in midweek, but I will have that covered as well on the deadline stream tomorrow because of course Liverpool have got that 12:30 kickoff once again, which I'm sure Klopp isn't too happy about. So we've got lots of kind of various things to navigate today, which is making it difficult. If we can try and get the stream up to 100 likes to start with, that'd be excellent. A bit quieter than normal to start with. I'm guessing it's just because of the earlier start time. But I can see that there's a few of you saying hello in the live chat. So if you are in, do come and say hello in the chat and make sure you're liking and subscribing because that will get this out to as many people as possible. I can say hello to some of you in the live chat already. Gazman was here early with his question, which was, good morning, Holly. Have done Mbomo to Garnacho. Is it a hit from Tsimikas to Trent worth it? Also have Trippier, Lascelles and Taylor. Yeah, the difficulty is Trippier could is one yellow card off a ban, which is a worry. It does make it difficult to navigate. I think Trent looks on, particularly because we've had an update today from Klopp that Alisson could be back this weekend. So that's something to look out for. If it's for free, it's easier. I don't think the -4 is worth it, particularly because Tsimikas should start again at the weekend, because obviously he didn't start midweek. So you've got to bear all of that in mind when deciding on your moves. So don't be disappointed that certain players missed out midweek, because it makes their game time more secure for the weekend. I don't know if it's just my PC that's not updated, but it says the stream's only got 7 likes at the moment, which if that's the case, no, we're up to 45, that's okay. I was about to tell you guys off, but hopefully we'll get it up to 50 and then 100 likes very soon. I will go through all the information that we've got so far, and I am keeping an eye on the tweet deck. I know you can't see it on screen at the moment. We've got Abod is in. Good to see you, Abod. Hopefully everything working well for you now. Glyn is in, as is Dev. FPL Down Under, T-Bone. Mike is in as well, and said please don't, Rannock is modding and said please don't spam the chat with your questions, please ask once and be patient. F Monster is in, Michael, Mike, Crosberg, Itumberg, Michael, Habesha, Liz, Gamer, Pond, Eugen, Brett, Mark, Shepo, Munjeke, Alif. I think that is everyone. So pretty good turnout so far already. And we are waiting for the Spurs press conference, which was meant to be coming up at 12 o'clock. No sign of it as of yet, which is typical. While we're waiting for that, I do want to go through all the information that we've had so far, because it's been pretty chaotic, to say the least. First of all, we had news. David Moyes didn't really give any injury news in his press conference earlier, but he did make reference to the fact that he isn't sure when Areola will be back. He's got a little bit of ligament damage. It sounded like he failed a late fitness test yesterday and is expected to be okay and then wasn't. So we'll see how that shakes out. Klopp said that McAllister will miss the Palace game, but Alisson is back in training and could feature. Arteta has the same squad available to him as he did for the trip to Luton in midweek. Tomiyasu is out for a while, though, which is good news to any owners of Ben White. Killer Rat and Light Rays have just joined. Killer Rat is modding as well. Thank you for joining us. And then this is why we're concerned about Son. He came off and he was crying. I don't know if that was pain or the result. Took a whack to the back. He did all his post-match interviews, but he was grimacing and limping. When asked if he was injured, he said, no, I'm okay, let's see. He isn't a player that kind of misses time out with injury. So I'm not surprised by that response from him. Whether we can trust it or not, I don't really know at this point in time. But Pedro Porro was also spotted limping as well. So that's a bit of a concern. I've had a super chat in from Kamal. Thank you, Kamal. Last game week was the most confusing one, as all potential winners flopped with an average of 26. Yeah, I managed to get red arrows. Yeah, to be fair, I can't even remember how many points I finished on. 31. So it was good to get into the 30s. Midweek game weeks are always the same, I'm afraid. I did talk on Tuesday's deadline stream of not taking big hits, and it's all about survival, and was absolutely the case. Just wrapping up the rest of the injuries, we saw Lascelles going off last night. We don't know whether he'll be back or not. The Mbomo news at least was clear and obvious that then we need to transfer him out, so done us a favour there. We had a little update on the Mitchell injury, but we will hear from Roy Hodgson this afternoon. Matip's done his ACL. Might not see him in the Liverpool shirt again, I'm afraid. That's it. That's all we've got so far. But obviously, with the number of press conferences we've got coming up, it is going to be a busy one. Now, I think we've got some quotes in from Postecoglou. So I'm going to turn the volume up because as always, it's a video. Let's see what he's got to say.
Okay, Angie's here again. Here we go again, Ange. Newcastle on Sunday. Going to start with team news. I mean, we all saw Sonny at the end.
Sorry, I've just realised that I've not got it open on the tab that you can see. Here we go. I'll try again.
Okay, Angie's here again. Here we go again, Ange. Newcastle on Sunday. Going to start with team news. I mean, we all saw Sonny at the end limping off. What's the update on Sunday, if you've got one?
Yeah, no update. Yeah, we'll see how he is. He was a bit sore after the game. Yeah, there's a couple of fair to say were a bit sore, but we'll wait and see what the outcome is in terms of for Sunday. But there's nothing that apart from Sonny that looks too significant.
Okay, Angie's here again. Here we go again, Ange. Newcastle on Sunday. Going to start with team news. I mean, we all saw Sonny at the end limping off.
That's frustrating. So no news, basically. Oh no. No update, we will see. I guess the good news is that Porro was not mentioned in additional injury fears, and I don't think he's been flagged either on the FPL website. So that's one good thing. I just don't know if I dare buy a player that... FPL is so frustrating. That is not the update that we want. Now, that was a pre-recorded Spurs video, and I think we will still see a further update today in the press conference later. It's just so frustrating to not get firm news. It's typical. Honestly, this game is so frustrating. Like, what do we do with that? I think we just have to, I think we just got to roll with it because he isn't a player that, and I know his performances haven't been great of late, and maybe some people are looking for an excuse to sell, but I feel like he's kind of a long-term hold for me at the moment. I mean, Postecoglou has been pretty coy in his comments of late. We saw it with Maddison a few weeks ago, one of the non-injuries before the injury. It just makes it more difficult to navigate because basically we just need to make sure that we've got strength on our benches, which is kind of something that I'm trying to focus on with transfers this week. Just let me know in the chat. I can see some of you are doing so already. What your plan is for Son, given that little update that we've just had. Is he a hold or not? There will be some people that are wanting to sell Son to free up funds. I think we will have a proper press conference soon anyway, in which we'll get further updates and we should be able to see what the situation is there. But it's a frustrating one once again. So something's gone a bit weird here. I tried to update the graphic with the Son news and it's not updated. I'm sure I pressed save. That should be it. So we will see, as always. I feel like I need to start calling this the We Will See stream. While I've been chatting, VJ has joined us in the chat and is modding. Make sure you're joining my Discord channel as well. Particularly want to chat with Vijay and Ranik on there about helping out in the members WhatsApp group as well. Yeah, most people saying hold which I think I've got to agree with. I think we will get full comments from Postecoglou in a proper press conference. We've had that little video, but I should imagine in the next 15 minutes we will get more news as well. So keep your eyes peeled for that, because it's going to be... any additional news will be great. And let's try and get this stream up to 100 likes now. We're almost there. We're at 87. There's 300 of you watching, which is phenomenal stuff, guys. Thank you so much for supporting the stream. While we're waiting for these next set of press conferences, so I've not heard anything from Aston Villa yet, and the Bournemouth and Man City press conferences are supposedly at 12:30. I want to speak to you about One Future Football. I talked about them last week. They've since sent me a shirt, which is very cool. Let me just move my mic so you can see it. From the Tokyo Youth Club. I picked it because of the colour. It's like a pinky purpley. It looks really cool with all the Japanese hieroglyphs on there as well. So really glad to get a shirt from the guys over at One Future Football. Now, I did talk about One Future Football on stream last week. I am going to put the link back into the chat so you can hear about One Future Football again this week. I think the links as well are in the description to the video as well. But One Future Football is a universe, a new football universe that includes 12 global football clubs that complete each week in fixtures. And you can get the backstories of the clubs. I've put as my favourite club South London United, because that's where we're closest to. But, you know, there's Paris Saint-Denis, there's Manhattan FC. Some really exciting narratives behind both the clubs and the players over at One Future Football. It's its own universe where you can follow the teams, follow the clubs. You can make your account on there and you can collect in-game currency, which will allow you to support your club, buy players, play in their fantasy game, which is the bit that I'm most excited about, and also accrue points. So you can, when you've got the points, you can upgrade your players, you can train your players essentially to make them better. And use them then in the fantasy game as well. So there's quite a lot of different elements to it, and you can also view their games in the fixtures each week on the YouTube channel, which is really cool. So when it goes live, you'll be able to watch their game on YouTube. So you can get in and get information about the players, the narrative of where they've come from, how their careers progressed, and then you use those players in the fantasy game. Now, there's a free mode and a pro mode. If you are interested in checking this out, make sure when you sign up and it asks you, where did you hear about One Future Football, to put my name in there, because that will get you access to exclusive prizes just for being one of my subscribers, because you can get... I'm going to be giving a free player card to everyone that signs up using me as the person that they heard it from, using my link. And when you sign up, you get a player card, and you'll also get an additional player card by using my link in the next 24 hours as well. And prizes for the free to play fantasy game is a player card, and for each week there's a round of fixtures that starts every Friday, and the prize for the pro mode is a free kit like the one that you can see I'm wearing at the moment. So it's pretty cool. If you look at the kits, like, there's so many to choose from, and they're all, you know, so cool and just kind of linked to what the club embodies if you look at their backstories as well. So I'm just going to jump in and make a team for the free fantasy mode. I think the deadline for this is around 7 p.m. tonight. So you have to choose, really easy, 5 players, 1 defensive player, a midfielder, a forward, and 2 free plays, which I tend to just put in the attacking players to make it more interesting. You can check out a player's stats and also their likelihood of minutes when you're compiling the lineup. And then once you've got your lineup compiled, you can pick a captain and a vice captain for every round of fixtures. So if you want to go check out One Future Football, you can do so using the link in the description to the video. Make sure in this box where it says how you found out about it, that you put Holly Shand, and then someone in here will win a kit if they join the pro game, or a player card if they join the free game. And also, in addition to that, it's just going to be really exciting to follow this over the festive period. So go check it out. Let me know what you think as well, because I'm excited to see what you think to One Future Football, and hopefully you like the cool kits as well. It's well worth having a go and seeing what One Future Football is all about. I'm just going to hop back onto the tweet deck to see if we've got any further updates from Postecoglou. I see that Bakar has said Son should be fine, so he's feeling quite optimistic. And updates that Romero is back, obviously, after his ban. Pape Sarr named among the substitutes. I mean, the game coming on Sunday means that we're not going to get any proper update. I don't think there's going to be any leaks. Hopefully we'll see some pictures in training or something to give us some clue of availability. That's just something to keep an eye on. We've got an update from Chelsea that Madueke isn't listed in the injured Chelsea injury update. Gallagher back from suspension, but Nkunku and Lavia are still listed. 9 players out for the Everton game. I still think we're going to get Postecoglou in a proper press conference as well, by the way, guys. Because I think these comments are more from that video. Yeah, so no Nkunku yet, which is good for Parma owners. Which is good to see. Have we got up to 100 likes yet? For some reason, my screen doesn't like to be updating. Yeah, we're at 118, which is great. It's 250 of you in at the moment. And as I've mentioned, lots more information to come in today's press conferences. And I am going to be answering your questions as well. So I'm going to scroll up and make sure that I've not missed any so far. F Monster said, who should replace Lascelles? I mean, to be honest, Lascelles is a bench this week anyway, so I don't think you replace him at his price point while he's starting. I think you have to improve your other defenders because he's perfect for the bench, even if he does miss out this week. If it is a dead leg, then I should imagine that he'll be back for the next game. Can't remember. The fixtures are okay after this one. So Fulham at home and Luton away before Christmas. So I think you just bench him. Obviously, Botman could be back soon, but I don't think he's going to be rushed back. Mike says, have you got your trophy yet? No, I need to speak to Fantasy Ed. He said he was putting it in the post. Every time I get a parcel, I get excited, but it tends to just be Christmas shopping. Itumleg, I took Bowen out from Burmo. Now I might need to bring Bowen back again. It's a mess. Yeah, I'd love to have Bowen in my side as well. But I do need to leave funds to go from Darwin to Watkins because I don't want to own Darwin for long. Michael is looking at a -8. Son to Bowen, Burmo to Saka, Raya to Sanchez. I don't mind the move to taking out Son if it means that you can get to Saka. I think that's fine. I wouldn't take a -4 to go from Raya to Sanchez, though. FPL Habesha says, Porro is awesome. Conceded twice, picked up a yellow. Still somehow he managed to get 2 bonus. Liz looking at Garnacho. I'm not loving that option. And Ponlife benched McTominay. Wow, that must have hurt. Brett said fell asleep with the Spurs game. What happened with Son? He was subbed like very late on, whack to the back. Munjake says, who are your transfers this week? think it's going to probably be Palmer in for Mbermo and Colwell in for Burke to strengthen the bench, but I'm not absolutely sure. I am going to be on Captain Haaland, Vice Captain Salah, so I need to lock that in. I think if you don't own Palmer yet, it's an easy move from Mbermo. Stop Online Hate said, I've had DCL for 5 weeks, keep or sell. I think you keep him. I know he missed a fantastic chance. That must have been frustrating to see, but I still think he's a good option. Everton have got the bit between their teeth, for sure. T-Bone has gone from Mbermo to Bailey. Nice. Leroy says, greetings from South Africa. Who's excited for the Cup? I'm pleased I had a bye last week. I don't know if have opponents been generated. I'm against Gary Chung, who's got an active team at 5 million overall rank. It knocks me out. This is not the sort of team that you want to get knocked out by in the Cup. He's got Porro. No Salah, which I think is encouraging. He's got Watkins, though, and I haven't. It is what it is. Obviously come into this one off the back of a very good game week, but yeah, down in the depths at the moment. The kind of team that you know you're going to get knocked out in the first round to. Just going to pop over to the tweet deck, see what's going on, because we're expecting Pep's conference very soon. If he's on time. Yeah, nothing at the moment. I think we're okay. I'll keep checking back, though, so that we don't miss it. Cludy says, had to take out Mbermo. Is cash to Porro worth a -4? I don't think I'd take the hit, if I'm honest. Again, he's going from Palmer to Mbermo. He said you got my name right. I've probably not got it right the second time round. Dev wanting Areola news. I don't think we're going to get it. It's not thought to be long term. Those that went Kelleher, though, Alisson's back now. Those that went Dubravka, he let in 3 goals. It's looking like a bit of a nightmare at the moment with the goalkeepers. I think if you're worried about Areola, I think the best thing you can do is improve your other goalkeeper, because I think he's still okay as a backup. 350 of you in at the moment, which is super. Make sure that you're liking the video, subscribe to the channel as well. Still got ambitions of 30k subs by the end of the year, but I am going to need some help to get there. Dr. Waleed and Mbermo to Bowen is worth getting. Crosby has commented that he's not concerned about Son. Killerrat says, I'm glad I don't have to agonise over Son. Just Mbermo, Porro and Darwin. Darwin will play. He had his rest in the week. Pranav's asking for news on Jose Sarr. The Wolves press conference is at 1 o'clock. So that's one to keep an eye on. Did he not play midweek? Because I thought it was... No. It's not meant to be a big issue, though. Sorry, I'm completely the wrong tab. It's not meant to be a big issue, so... Nothing from Pep just yet. I forgot about the Sarr injury. Look at the state of goalkeepers. Alisson, Pope, Areola, Sarr. But it's worse if we filter by percentages. Turner obviously lost his place as well. Raya could lose his place at any point. Headaches for sure. Fact says Nunes was the only captain with a return. And Burmo out is more nailed. No, I don't think so. But I mean, I guess the Burmo injury helps him, but they blank in 18, and he wasn't in form. Vincent says who replaces Burmo pre-press conferences? Palmer, Bowen, Gordon. Chan and Sterling are both 1 yellow off a suspension. That puts me off those options. David is in. Hello, David. Dr. Waleed says Lascelles gone for at least 2 weeks. I don't think that's the case, but we'll see. There will be some embargoed quotes from Hal, but he won't have known last night. Keelan, is it worth to lose Bowen, Saka or Son to afford Haaland? It's a 12-point hit I have to take. Free hit is available. Haaland does blank in 18. You need him back for 19. That's a difficult one. Because you kind of need him for the Luton game. Yeah, I mean, you need him back for 19, so it's whether you go now and bench him for the blank is your decision. I think the plan for non-Haaland owners was always to bring him back this week, and I think you've got to stick with that, to be fair. Doom says, which team do you think keep a clean sheet? At the moment, flip a coin. How many clean sheets did we have midweek? Wolves, Bournemouth, Fulham, Aston Villa and Everton. Not kind of defences that you'd be expecting to keep the clean sheets. This weekend, shall we see what FPL Seller says with the clean sheet odds? These are always quite interesting. So City top on 56%, Brighton second 42%, Liverpool third, then Wolves and Brentford fourth and fifth. In terms of predicted points for defenders for this week, you've got Trent up there, followed by the City defenders, United defenders, Brighton. So, there's a few in there to consider, but obviously it's not as straightforward as maybe it has been some other games. Right. Guardiola should be in now with his presser, surely. We've had updates from Emery by the looks of things. Emery joined the media this afternoon. We have to be happy and we have to be focused. Now we have to focus on the match tomorrow. I'm guessing the Villa Twitter account's just going to drip feed some of these quotes from Emery. Unless there's anything on the website. Let's have a look. Do they just not have a way to get to their full website? No, doesn't look like it. So we'll have to wait for it to be drip fed on Twitter. Lovely. My recommended transfers for this game week, and by the way, you can get these recommended transfers yourself with a 30-day free trial on the hub. He's currently recommending Burmo to Bowen for me. And I think the other recommendation is to roll the second free transfer with the alternative option to go with Burmo out for Bowen and Saliba out for Porro. Quite interesting moves there. But yeah, all the tools that you see on stream are all for Fantasy Football Hub members. And with that 30-day free trial, that'll take you through the next 5 game weeks all the way to the new year through the busy fixture period. So it's well worth checking out If you're not enjoying it, you can just cancel and you've just got your 30 days free. But I'm sure once you get into using the tools, you'll be as hooked as I am. Yeah, there's some talk in the chat about double game week 20. Obviously, we've got blanks for City and Brentford in game week 18 because of the Club World Cup. And there was talk that maybe the fixture that they miss could drop into game week 20, but we haven't had any information surrounding that. Because I think they play an early fixture. Both of them play at 3 o'clock on Saturday, so they could potentially play again as late as Tuesday, the 2nd of January. But yeah, we've had no news through, and it's getting to the point where it's probably a bit late. Unless we hear something today, but it's just something to bear in mind. Right, is Guardiola in and giving us any information yet? Looks like there was some updates from Sean Dyche yesterday, so I might just give this a little play as well. I'll turn up the volume again.
Well, Jimmy, I hope, because it's a sickness bug and, you never know, but they can pass very quickly, as we all know. We've all had one, 24 hours. But there are some longer ones. We hope it's a 24-hour situation. So he'd have time to get food back in himself and feel stronger again. Amadou, we're hoping to be around it, possibly in the squad. We'll just have to wait and see how the next couple of days training goes. So yeah, there's them two. And then we'll check on Seamus over tomorrow.
Quick one, what happened with Jordan Pickford when he got a bit of treatment? Is he all right?
Yeah, I think so. He just got a niggly thing on his knee, I think. I'll find out more tomorrow, because I never like to talk about it until you find out 24, 40 hours later sometimes. So yeah, I don't think it's anything too serious.
That's the update then. So that was Everton's post-match press conference that I mentioned earlier. There was Eddie Howe did something similar in his post-match conference as well. I think as the away team, not in the case of Sean Dyche, but in terms of Newcastle, a long journey back from London, they were permitted to do it post-match. Gaby says Darwin or Gordon this week, please. Gordon. Jamie says, I love FPL, but it's not something I can afford to spend money on. That's absolutely fine, Jamie. The free trial's a 30-day free trial, so if you cancel before the 30 days are up, you won't get charged anyway. But yeah, I understand. There's absolutely no obligation. That's why all my content is always free for you guys. Especially as things are at the moment. Yeah, all a bit quiet still. We're waiting for quotes from Aston Villa. Potentially more quotes from Postecoglou, which I think we'll get soon. Probably in the next half hour. And then, yeah, Guardiola at 12:30, which he's obviously late, as always. I don't know what time the actual Spurs press conference is. We've had the video from Postecoglou, but I think I think there will be more to come. But it's just when. VJ says some more likes for Holly's award-winning channel. Likes cost nothing. Yeah, it'll be great, guys. Keep them coming. I can't see how many we're up to at the minute. 165, is that right? I believe so, anyway. I'm going to keep the tweet deck open while we're waiting for that, but I may jump across if there's other questions. Yeah, VJ says, get the stream up to 200 likes. That'd be great. Most people are looking to hold Son at the moment. Lutmeg says, already got Mbermo to deal with, so going to have to hold. Here we go. I think it's not that easy a game for City. I think Arsenal were struggling with the size of the pitch at Kenilworth Road, and I think City will be similar. It's not like a given, but I still think Haaland's the best captain this week. Question Gordon or Bowen for Mbermo. I think Gordon is the one. Nikki says the top scorer this week had 4 Fulham players in their team. Yeah, I think if you don't make any transfers, if a player moves club, then you can end up with 4. But it does force you as your next transfer to sell one of them. So it's not a serious FPL manager to do it. Rocky says, should I sell Watkins for Jackson due to fixtures? No. Keep Watkins, sure. Just making sure I've not missed any members' questions. Alex has asked, would you go Bowen over Gordon? There's absolutely no way Howe won't rotate when it comes to Fulham and Luton, surely. Well, they're going to be able to rest players in the Champions League, aren't they? Next midweek, because they're already through. In terms of predicted points for midfielders, over the next... We'll do 5 game weeks, because that takes us through the busy Christmas period. Bowen 26.7 predicted points, Gordon 26.5 predicted points. Each of them predicted to play 90. I think the thing is with Bowen, he is going to play the 90. Whereas I don't think you can say the same for Gordon. Bowen's away form is just ridiculous, but so is Gordon's home form. Let's give them a little comparison. I mean, you can see there that Bowen is the superior one when it comes to the numbers, but it's not always just about the numbers. If we look at fixtures, if we compare over this busy period for Newcastle and West Ham for attack and goals, Newcastle got the edge on the fixtures. Fulham at home and Forest at home, like... Those fixtures are so nice, 17, 18, 19. But Bowen, you know, is going to play 90. The away games, Fulham away, Arsenal away. I think there's only Salah and Haaland that have scored more goals. Let's go back to the tweet deck because we know that Pep is in. Doesn't seem to be any injury news yet, which doesn't help. I feel like we're going into the game week blind at the moment, if I'm honest. Rannox says, do you think Palmer's a 90-minute man? No. No, I don't. Light Race says Newcastle need a result against AC Milan. Is that right? Is that just in terms of... I thought they were okay. Or is it to win the group? Let's have a look. Oh, no, they're third. Oh, yeah, they say they do. Sorry, I got that completely wrong. Rotation could be an issue then, couldn't they? Because they've got Milan at home, who were the group leaders. No, they're not. They're in the same boat. Yeah, it's a difficult one then. I mean, I would get Bowen. My concern is I want to get Watkins back. If I get Bowen, maybe I just get Bowen and roll the other transfer. Sorry, I know this is particularly great viewing. If I get Bowen, it leaves me 0.1 in the bank. Team rating of 93%, but I have to play Saliba away at Villa and Livramento away at Spurs. And I can already see that they're not going to get any points in that fixture. That's the difficulty. And then how do I get back to Watkins? If I look at my team for game week 18, I need Areola back. My team's a bit of a mess. Who's going to be the cash cow? That's why I'm looking at Palmer, who I think is okay and doing okay in the predictions. But like you say, is he a 90-minute man? I'm not convinced he is. You see, if Bowen's on 26.7 predicted points, Palmer's on 24.9. Maybe I compare those two as well. I mean, I know Bowen's the better player, but Palmer's been doing the business, and it's what else you can afford. You've got to bear that in mind as well. You see, that's quite a nice little radar for Palmer. I know goal threat always trumps assist threat, but it just gives me so much more flexibility because I can bring in a better defender for this week so that I don't have to play, well, I say a better defender. Looking at Chelsea's defence at the moment, it's not great, but I don't then have to play a Newcastle defender, which is good. And I've got money in the bank to go from Darwin to Watkins. Why is it saying I've got 1.8 million now? It's because I could go Porro, isn't it? I do like Porro, you know. And I can still get from Darwin to Watkins with that. It's difficult. Ideally, I'll make my moves tomorrow, but it just depends on like price changes tonight and that. Right, let's see what's happening on the tweet deck. Kevin De Bruyne will be back when he is. We don't rush him. Well, you can say that, Pep, but you rushed him back at the start of the season when he wasn't ready. Blue Tone says we'll see him on the pitch before the end of December. I think he's in the squad for the Club World Cup. Update from Emery on squad fitness. We're going to train in 2 hours. Had a lot of rest after the match we played on Wednesday. It's going to be very, very important. The players can tell me physically and mentally how they are. Whatever that means. I mean, did we expect anything else? Just making sure we've not missed anything else. Oh, headaches. So we've heard from West Ham, Liverpool, Villa. We've heard a bit from Spurs, but I think we'll hear more. And Man City. We've got Bournemouth we haven't heard from yet. Chelsea and Wolves coming up at 1 o'clock. 1:15 is Manchester United, and then at 1:30 it's Brighton, Palace, Fulham, Luton and Sheffield United. So a lot more still to cover on this stream. If you're here and you're enjoying it, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel as well. Remember, we're going for the 29k mark first and hopefully 30k by the end of the month, but I am going to need your help to get there. And there's over 500 of you in at the moment, so hopefully we can push up that like button. I'm just going to check I've not missed any member questions. A lot of saying Bowen, but I think the bigger picture is that Palmer is there. Killer Rat says, are we all underrating Hwang Heels-chan? Do you mean Hwang Hee-chan? Is that one yellow off for suspension puts me off him at this stage of the year? David says, Burmo for Saka. Yeah, I think that's an easy one to get done. I just want another little look at Palmer. I think when Nkunku's definitely back, I don't think that's going to affect Palmer. The Brighton game, he had a bit of a knock that he picked up in training. But other than that, he's played 90 in 4 of the last 6. I think for flexibility, it's going to be Palmer over Bowen. I would love it to be Bowen. I feel like 2 years ago when Bowen had like his really big season, he did really, it was that festive period where he did really well. Just making sure we've not missed anything else. Niles says, I've got Areola and Turner. Should I get a replacement? Yeah, I'd swap Turner. This is proper news from Pep, isn't it? Rodri and Grealish are back from suspension. Oh, yeah, that's nothing new. Yeah, 8 goals so far for Hee-chan, which is impressive, says Killer Rat. Paul Kit says, can you suggest any 5.3 million or less defenders? I'm considering Porro, James. I've got Trippier, Gabriel, Taylor, Kabore, Lamptey at the moment with a free transfer. Yeah, Porro or I'd go Colwill. I don't know if this is a joke or not, but very tired at doing this, said, Lascelles, sorry for your leg loss. When did his leg die? Surely that's not a serious question, is it? Unless it's lost in translation. If not, if that is a serious question, look at what a dead leg is. Glyn says, and Burmo to Bowen, yeah. Get it done. I think we're going to struggle for Lascelles news, Condé, I'm afraid. May get some embargoed quotes later. Michael says options to replace Gabe. Already got Gabriel, Lascelles and Simicas. Chelsea defender for me. If we look at defenders by predicted points over the next 5 game weeks, it was Trent and Trippier. Then it's Porro, Colwill, Van Dijk, Cher, Gabriel, Akanji, Disasi. Sorry, it's Desai, isn't it? Kyle Walker. But there is going to be a bit of rotation in that Chelsea defence. Mark Quinn, member. Thank you for joining us, Mark, with a question. Always prioritise the member comments, guys. Got a midfield 5 of Saka, Salah, Palmer, Son and Burmo to come out. Was thinking Pereira or Willian, as I've got good fixtures. I prefer Gordon to a Fulham midfielder. Just feel like you know what consistency you're going to get from a player from a better team than Fulham. But if you fancy the punt, go for it. I feel like Pereira and Willian rely a lot on set pieces. Nick says, my defence is a shambles. Do I take a hit for Porro or Colwill? Got Simicas, Zinchenko, Taylor, Baldock, Lascelles. I think running with a defence of Simicas, Zinchenko and Taylor isn't the worst this week. I think you can avoid the hit. Soshi, start Lascelles or Saliba? Saliba. Twisted Sparky. Brought in Palmer from Burmo. Gonna have to take my hit for Sanchez to Turner. Sanchez in for Turner. Yeah, so goalkeepers. Predicted points over the festive season. Dubravka still top, then Robert Sanchez, Raya, Martinez. In terms of cheap picks, Dubravka's where it's at, but I know some people maybe already have triple Newcastle. Ismail, thoughts on Foden, wildcard in 19. If you could get through 18 without him, then he's fine. So you're really only looking for... I'm guessing you know about the blank. For the next two, he's up there with everyone else. Just minutes, isn't it? Always the case. No other updates as things stand. Best Chelsea defender, I think, is Colwell for me. Bapper, Diaby to Kudos, Swang or Matoma. Out of those three, I think Matoma. I think he's being overlooked as an Mbermo replacement. Mav says went Gordon from Mbermo. Thoughts on a -4 Mitchell to Colwell. I'll have the Palace presser at 1:30. So just wait for the update. Kate has said, what football shirt are you wearing? It's one from the One Fancy Football universe. It's Tokyo Youth Club. You can, I think the link is in the description to the video if you want to go check out their store. You can get 10% off football kits using the code Holly10. Jamie says a quarter of matches being clean sheets probably the highest of the season. Yeah, got to agree with you there. Killer Rat's really flying the flag for Huang. I just don't trust Wolves. Yeah, this is an interesting comment from Robert. For people that are new to FPL, Son played with a fractured eye socket and ongoing hernia for half a season almost last year. Don't think a knock will stop him, especially with Spurs lineup at the moment. Yeah, I've got to agree there. He is a hold. Daniel says start Dubravka or Areola. I think you start Areola and hope he starts. And if not, Dubravka will come in. Just going to keep an eye on the presses. Looks like the rest of the City press conference is embargoed. Ten Hag speaking at 1:15. Updates from 1:30, according to Samuel Luckhurst. I think the United press conference is a bit embargoed because maybe it goes out on MUTV first. Scare says, is Gordon out with an injury? No, he's fine. Palmer or Sterling from Burmo? Got to be Palmer, because Sterling's a yellow off a ban. Stop Online Hate says, bye Maguire. It's not the worst idea. He's just won the Player of the Month for November. Premier League Player of the Month. VJ says, well done to all the likers. I concur. There's 500 of you in, which is an amazing. So thank you so much, guys, for the support. It's a gift to have so many of you watching. But if you do want to support that little bit extra, liking the video, subscribing to the channel, really does help me out. More than 50% of people that watch my content don't subscribe, and I need all those subscribers to get to 30k by the end of the year. So keep hitting the button. Tobias says news on Mitchell that's coming up at 1:30. Daniel says, do we know anything about Areola? No new update, I'm afraid, from Moyes this morning. I don't think it's a big issue, but, you know, there's no guarantees he starts. David says Leno or Pickford. Everton have got the bit between their teeth, haven't they? I think maybe Pickford. I think the points deduction has had a huge impact on them, positively in terms of the performances. Ishan said, my first FPL season and I'm not liking midweek game weeks. Got to agree with you there. Predicted lineup from Blue Tone for City this week. Edison, Akanji Diaz, Stones, Ake, Rodri, Bernardo, Kovacic, Foden, Grealish and Haaland. Daniel says share link to subscribe. You just subscribe, don't you? If you go on my channel, where do I need to be? There should be a button there that says subscribe, or that link in the top. Either of those. And I will be live tomorrow for the deadline stream as well, probably at around 10 a.m. tomorrow, an hour before the deadline. So if you'd like to join me for the deadline stream, I believe the link is in the chat. But if you hit the notify button, that'll let you know when I go live. I take my daughter to football first thing on a Saturday morning, but then after that, I come straight back to stream. So you don't want to miss it. Yeah, the news on Son, for those asking, is no new update. We will see, but we're going to assume that he'll be okay. Poch is in for the Chelsea press conference. On Kunku, we're assessing day by day. We will see tomorrow, but I don't believe he'll be involved. We will see if Gusto can be available. Apart from that, no other news. I don't think that's great for people that are wanting to buy Reece James, that you've got Gusto as an alternative. Oh, yes, Scott Speed says, if you can comment, you subscribe. That's a very good point. Gary says, the video picture to this live claims Son is injured. Is he injured? He's flagged with a knock. He limped off at the end of the game. And it's an issue with his back. And we've not had a further update from Postecoglou. He says that he's okay, but he looked to be in a fair bit of pain, and he was a bit stiff. I think he'll be fine, but yeah, the reason why he's on the image is because he's flagged. I've not done it for the clicks, I promise. Marcel saying not involved was tactical by the looks of things. David says, do you know how many players not playing in January? Yeah, so there's a piece on the Hub in terms of who's going out on international duty. So the most owned players are Salah and Burmo, who's now injured anyway, and Onana. But Wissa, Jackson, Kabore, Decore, Kudos, Lamptey, Adingra, Aitnori, Agerd, Benrahma and Semenyo. And then the Asia Cup, again game week 21 to 24, Son, Matoma, Hee-chan. I think they're the only ones. Uproar, Sanchez, Porro and Gordon in for Areola, Mitchell and Mbermo for a -4. I think a -8. I think if you've not got a bench, I think that's okay if Mitchell's ruled out. But we don't know yet. The presser will be at 1:30 from Palace. Ivo says already dealt with Mbermo and Simicast. Simicast will play this weekend. He's had his rest. I'd imagine Spurs would only drop him if absolutely no choice. Yeah, I agree with you there. Michael says options to replace Gay, or already have Gabriel, Lascelles and Simicast. Thinking Dallo, but United players just scare me how bad they can be. Yeah, no, I think that's the way to go, to be fair. No new updates on Areola, I'm afraid. Daniel says, I have Saliba and Gabriel. Would you play both Arsenal defenders? No, I'd play one. Probably Saliba. Roland says Diaby or Bowen for Mbermo. I'd go with Bowen. Diaby's lost his place, by the way. Suthark, Dubravka or Sanchez? Probably Dubravka. F Monster looking for a Lascelles replacement. Maguire? Guessing you've not got a lot of funds. If you can get to Colwell, I'd go to Colwell. Or Porro if you can afford. But, yeah. Please don't spam the chat, though. Mark is in. Said, sorry I'm late. Any news on Son? Yeah, Postecoglou said no update. We will see. I think he'll be okay. Any chance Evans start? No, I don't think so. Ten Hag's presses at 1:15 now. So we'll see. Even I'm saying we will see. Andrew says, I think the captaincy poll should be closer than it suggests. Palace in free fall. Luton decent at home. Yeah, you say Luton have been decent at home. They've been conceding the goals still. Looks like Haaland is a massive captain favourite. 82% of the vote. Bazdav says, can we invest in McNeil? Yeah, looks okay. -4, Son to Bowen. No, just keep Son. I think he'll be fine. Mbermo to Son is okay. Yeah, Vipul, stop spamming the chat, please. Anyone that spams the chat is just going to get put in timeout, so. Ivo says, I've gone hostile defence. Trippier, Trent and Zinchenko. Thinking of adding Porro soon. That is a nice defence. I'm guessing you're not a Son owner. Dr. Waleed, Gordon v Palmer. I think it's Palmer. Andrew saying keeping Darwin. Yeah, Darwin and Simicast, I was fully expecting them to rotate in midweek. They'll start the weekend. I'll have the early team news on stream 10 a.m. tomorrow. Link is pinned. Hayden says I've got the same Barbara as in Burmo, so I'll find out the info later. Yeah, it's out for weeks, I think. Is that your claim to fame? FPL Nim has joined us. Good to see you, Nim. Nim will be streaming after I finish this stream at some point. I can't remember what time. She'll let us know. Bicker. And Burmo, Raya, Lascelles to Bailey, Dubravka, Porro for -4. Don't like that. I don't like Bailey. I think if you're buying a Villa midfielder, I'd buy Louise because you know he's going to start every game. I wouldn't take a hit for a goalkeeper. Lascelles to Porro sounds okay. But I guess you need the funds. No big injury updates from Bournemouth. Scott said ordered a Reece James this week. I hope the battery lasts until Boxing Day. You'll be lucky. Naylor says, would you take a hit for a defender? Got Simicast, Gabriel and Lascelles starting with Taylor Cash on the bench. Yeah, probably would in your case. I think just sell Cash. If you've got Palmer and Gordon, I'd replace them Burmo with Bowen. Triple on Chelsea players feels too much. Sanchez or Dubravka. I think Dubravka's still fine if you're not, especially if you've not got 2 Liverpool players already. Andrew said this has been one of my worst years for key injuries. Yeah, it has been for everyone. Absolute nightmare. FPL Nims flexing the wild card in the chat says I may wild card if Son is out. I think he'll be okay, to be fair, but that is a big flex that he's still got the wild card. Neil says, is it worth pulling up trees to get Trent? I think we're getting close to that point. Maybe not this week, but certainly next. As well, thoughts on bringing in Ben Mee? I prefer Pinnock, but yeah, not a bad buy. But remember they're blank in 18. Dominic, I'm replacing Johnston in goal. Kelleher or Dubravka? Kelleher's probably be out because Alisson's back, so Dubravka. Netanel, can you make a wildcard draft? I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll show you the AI wildcard team on the hub. This is another feature you can get with your 30-day free trial. Links in the chat. I'll pin it as well. And I'll also... I think it's also in the description as well. But yeah, you can get the AI wildcard team. So it suggests Dubravka in goal, a backline of Trent, Porro and Maguire, which looks pretty great. Lascelles, Branthwaite on the bench. And then a midfield, Salah, Son, Bowen, Gordon, Palmer, Haaland, Watkins. That front 7 looks pretty nice. There's no Saka in there. She's sacrifice, but Salah, Son, Bowen, Gordon, Palmer, Haaland, Watkins looks pretty tasty. And that defence with Trent and Porro looks pretty good as well. I think if I was to wildcard this week, my team wouldn't be too dissimilar from that. I'd probably go Saka over Bowen. But then that's funds, isn't it? Maybe Saka over Son even. And maybe upgrade a little bit in the defensive areas with the Lascelles issue. But yeah, it's a pretty good starting point if you're looking for one. It's available every week, by the way. Linford is in and modding. Thank you for joining us, Linford. Joining a bit late. Enjoy my off day. Nice to see you, Linford. I did start early, which doesn't help. Nelson, another member, has asked... Gabriel and Burmo and Diaby to Colwell, Saka and Palmer for a -4. Yeah, quite like that. I think depending on how your defence looks this week, I'd be tempted to maybe just do the 2 frees and hold Gabriel. But it depends if who you've got to play. Because obviously I don't think Newcastle or Arsenal will keep a clean sheet this week, which does make it more difficult. All right, have we got any more updates anywhere? Even BBC are saying it's time to bring Gordon into your FPL team. Yeah, I don't think there's any new updates. Ivo says Son is the Terminator. Yeah, there's lots of players talking about this Fulham situation. I did see that Fulham had replied to FPL with, "We respect the loophole." So the team of the week is essentially the team that scored the most points. I think when the game went live, is this the one? Oh no, that's not it. Oh, it's the total no, I've still pressed the wrong thing. Highest points, 105. Hassan's team. I think when the game went live, Iwobi wasn't a Fulham player. And then he then went. But because Hassan has made no transfers all season, he can get away with the Fulham players. Not even a Fulham fan, so I don't know how he's ended up like that. To be fair, it looks like an auto-complete team. Because the vice-captain's still on Edison. Let's have a look at his Game Week 1 team. Yeah, so it's a dead team that started the season. And Iwobi moved to Fulham from Everton. And because if that happens and this was your team, when you went in to make transfers, it would make you sell a Fulham player first to take you down to 3. But if you've not made any changes all season, then you're just rolling with it. It's very not very often that something like that actually comes off. Let's put it that way. The team didn't have a very good rank. Just making sure I've not missed any members' questions. Mohammed said, is Porro okay? There wasn't any other injury issues mentioned in Postacoglu's video. So I'm going to say he's okay. Andrew is suggesting load up on City players. Yeah, it works, but you need to navigate the blank in 18. Lascelles, no update, but we could get some embargo quotes from Howe. We may need to see who's trained today, but I doubt Newcastle are even training today, having played last night. So I think any updates is going to come too soon. Oh, I've definitely lost my place in the chat now. Or maybe I haven't. Mohammed said Pascal Gross is doing great. Can we consider him as a replacement? Yeah. It's differential. Linford said, who's our best and Burmo replacement? For me, it's Palmer, Bowen, Gordon in that order. Omar says, any news about 8-0? We've not seen any news from the Wolves press conference, but it's meant to be on now, I think. Yeah, 1 o'clock. So could be any time. The tweet deck's on, so we'll get updates. Yoho says, what tool is it? So it's used to be called the Tweet Deck, but if you go on Twitter and go on More and then go on Pro, it's now called X Pro. And I've basically generated lists. So I've got the list of FPL accounts I follow, the list of the Premier League clubs, a list of journalists from The Athletic, and then the list of that I've compiled myself of news outlets. Mark says play Simicast or Saliba. I go Simicast. Thomas said, would you bring in Gordon from Burmo? He looks knackered. Yeah, I think I still would. Ashley says, why do I think Diaby's lost his place? He didn't start the last couple of games, did he? He got subbed on half-time against Spurs, played 16 minutes against Bournemouth and 5 minutes against Man City. I don't know why. I'm just going off the minutes. Edley is backing Ferguson captain against Burnley. 4% from 1,000 votes have voted to go elsewhere with the captaincy beyond Haaland and Salah. Dave says, thanks for all the content, much appreciated. Thank you. If you want to show that little bit more support, hit the like button and make sure you're subscribing to the channel as well. We've got ambitions of getting to 30k by the end of the year. We're nearly at 28.7k. I can't even remember when we hit 0.5k. Was that on stream the other day? Was that on Tuesday's stream? Spurs DK says Bowen or Saka. Gotta be Saka. Please only ask your question once, because I'm getting through all the questions, by the way. I will get there. But if people are asking them time and time again, it just slows everything down. Dubravka for -4 from Tamin. I don't think I'd do that. Killerat's embracing the Swedish lifestyle, taking his little one out on a sled. Very nice. Mary C. Bowen or Sterling for an Burma replacement? I go Bowen. Sterling won yellow off a ban. Bowen's got more goals this season. No news on Lascelles. I don't know if we'll get anything. Ashley's really quizzing me on Diaby. I don't have any insider knowledge or anything. Shepherd's gone from Lascelles to Kufal on fixtures as a punt. Oh, good luck. Tamin, Dubravka in, Areola out -4, not worth it. Is Douglas Luiz worth it? I don't know. But I think if you like... I feel like if you're going to buy a Villa midfielder, he's the one to get. FPL Nim already had to sell on Burmo, and I have Lascelles. Yeah, there's that. There's the Son issue. I've got another injured player in my squad as well. Like, that is not what you want to be logging in and seeing at this stage in the season. Not this time of year. I'm still putting people in timeout for repeating the question. Janice says, do you use software to read the chat? Questions aren't answered in chronological. They are. Nicholas, Kudos or Huang for Mbomo? Kudos? Yeah, it was definitely a back issue for Son. Yeah, Alisson is rumoured to be back. He's back in training. I think it might be a late call, but he's in the mix. Emmanuel, -8 to bring in Palmer and Trippier. I'm not sure it's worth it this week. Simon is in. Nice of you to join us, Simon. Good to see you. Jamie says Son is better than Bowen, better than Saka so far this season. Oh, Saka's just so consistent. Mr. Joshua, is Jimenez instead of Morris a good shout? Yeah. Areola to Flecken or Sanchez? Probably Sanchez. Matt says, I've got Mbermo, Son, Lascelles and Areola could be in trouble. Join the club. Mohamed, Turner to Sanchez and Mbermo to Sterling for a hit. Wouldn't take the hit for Sterling. Should be an eventful 30 minutes coming up, so stay tuned because we have got quite a few press conferences still to come. I'm not seeing any update from Wolves yet. And then we're going to hear from Man United, Brighton, Palace, Fulham, Luton and Sheffield United all during this little period. So stay tuned because you do not want to miss any of these updates. Could be some pretty big updates in there. Mr. Joshua, is it time to get Gay gone? Yeah, I think so. Ideal replacement for Turner, Dubravka. Wouldn't take a hit though this week. Gary likes the look of Richarlison. If you saw the chances that he missed when he came on yesterday, you wouldn't say so. Nils, what combination do you prefer? Dubravka Pope and Colwill or Sanchez Porro or Lascelles? Maybe Dubravka, Porro, Colwill. Oh, this is interesting from Spurs. Is there any injury update on Son or anyone else? Nothing really. Last night was late last night. He was a bit sore after the game, obviously, but the extent of it, we'll need to see how he recovers today. There are a couple of others with knocks, but I don't think anything else significant. Because obviously we saw Porro struggling as well. So that will be from the proper Spurs presser. I like the Jimenez look, Josh. Castaneda, did Bowen to Mbermo, now Mbermo to Bowen and losing value both sides? Is it stupid? Yeah, we didn't know these injuries were going to come, did we? Ayush, front three of Haaland, Wissa, Watkins, replacing Wissa with Douglas Luiz. Yeah, I don't mind that. Peter's got to start one of Dubravka or Raya. I think I'd go Raya of the two. Andrew's hoping Kelleher plays one more game. I don't think you'll be the only one. Magic Man is asking, if you've got no goalkeeper, is it worth a -4? I think with the clean sheet potential this week, not really. Phil says Son out. No, I wouldn't do. I think he'll be okay. Ingenuity, can you give Pickford and Hwang a shout out for giving me the green arrow? Of course. It'd be my pleasure. VJ in with the super thanks. Thank you, VJ. Thank you for modding once again as well. Simon thinks it's time for a minus 60 at 10.3 million overall rank. Why not, mate? Why not? VJ also says, can we get Holly up to 400 likes? I think we're currently at 332, so a little bit of a way to go. Oh, it's all going off in the chat. Keeping us entertained while we wait for these 130 pressers to come in. Jamie says, I completely agree that Saka has been the most consistent, but he's consistently assisting. The others have more goal threat. It's a good point. Apparently Rashford cannot play every game at the moment. Interesting. Again, Sham, should I sell Almiron? Yeah. Gary, Palace defence looks awful. Decore, big loss, got to agree. I don't know if I could take a hit for a goalkeeper. Mislav, should I change Palmer for Almiron? I can't get my words out. Palmer for Alvarez in the first 11 for this game week. Don't know. Do we think Alvarez is going to play? I did bookmark a City team prediction, didn't I? I mean, Alvarez hasn't been benched all season. Has he started every game? No way. I think I'd stick with Alvarez. Let's see what that... we definitely did have a City predicted lineup. We see a lot. Not in the predicted lineup. Interesting. He's due a rest. You can put it together in different ways, can't you? Brilliant A. Cash to a Kanji. You got to remember City blank, don't they? In which game week did the blank? 18. And rotation with City is a nightmare at the best of times. So I don't think I would. Same for whoever's just suggested Bernardo Silva. Ankit says Alvarez to Kuna or roll. I'd roll. Luton away, I like that fixture. Hodgson is in, so we should have a Mitchell update soon. Currently apologising for their poor performance. Chris says, can we have an overview of injuries? Of course. Nothing new from Bournemouth. Nkunku not back for Chelsea yet. Garner should be back for Everton. Onana potentially as well. Nothing new from Villa at the moment. De Bruyne could be back at the end of the month for City. This was from Spurs. We'll wait and see. There's nothing that looks too serious. Well, this is interesting, really. There's nothing apart from Sonny that looks too serious. So it's obviously serious enough. Ligament damage for Areola, but he only just missed out last night, so there's hope he could be back. I don't think I would take a hit for a goalkeeper. McAllister out for Liverpool, Alisson back in training. Tomiyasu out long term for Arsenal. Lascelles, no updates. Burmo out for weeks, definite sell. ACL for Matip. That's it so far. Hopefully that helps for anyone that's just joining. If you are just joining, make sure to like the stream and subscribe to the channel. Appreciate all the extra support there. Daniel's saying, is Sterling a good punt? He's 1 yellow for suspension. Let's just have a look at this. Anyone on 4 yellow cards, when they get their 5th yellow card, will get a 1-game ban. So notably in there, we've got Cash, Douglas Luiz, Sterling, Bruno Fernandes, Trippier, Udogie. But we've also got He-Chan in there. We've got Sterling in there. Yeah, it's quite an extensive list. Question on my current rank. I've just dropped out of the top 500k last week. I've kind of been in the same place for a while. Not that much progress all season, but my best ever rank. I finished in the top 10k twice. I think it's 7 times in the top 100k in 10. I think, is this my 10th season? Yeah, this is my 10th season. No injury updates in from Roy Hodgson yet. Question on, is McTominay worth a cheap punt? Yeah, potentially. Don't hate it. Question on start Areola or Kelleher. Coin toss. Pond Life sold Pickford for Dubravka. Wow. Unlucky. Jonathan wonders about bringing in Garnacho or Evans. Don't love either. Palmer or Solanke on the bench? Solanke. Bailey and from Burmo as a differential feels like... I'm just not convinced he keeps his place long term. I don't like punts at this time of year. No, Matty Cash seems to have lost his place as well. Kate says Alvarez likely to be dropped as poor and look tired. Yeah, go agree there. -4 for Sanchez. Don't think I'd do it. Nick doesn't know which 3 to start. Start Saliba, Doggy, and Livramento. Can you make a transfer in that defence? Arjun, should I just use my wild card instead of taking a hit this week? Yeah. I think that's fine. Almiron or Diaby in midfield? Neither. Michael says Nketiah to Kuna as cover if Son doesn't start. Well, yeah, it could work, to be fair. If it makes your team stronger in the long run, is that for free, though? I like this from Nick the Hippie. FPL is stressful enough without the managers being vague over injuries in every press conference. At least Frank lives up to his surname. Yeah, got to agree with you there. It's one of those, isn't it, that you just need managers to be a bit clearer about who's available and when. In America, the managers have to basically deliver the team sheet before the games, which would just negate all this. But it is then another kind of part of the game as well, isn't it? Still waiting for some press conferences to come through. I've not seen any comments from Wolves yet, or Brighton, or Palace, other than Roy Hodgson apologising, or quotes from Fulham, Luton, or Sheffield United. So 20 minutes to go. I'm nearly there in terms of your questions, so keep the questions coming, because if you ask a question now, I think I'm pretty much up to date. There's a good chance that you'll get your question answered. Hamza says, my Alvarez is 6.7, so scared to sell him. No, I think it's fine. Andrew's third out of 107 in the mini league. Is there much at stake in the league? Team looks better on paper. Worried. Best and Burmo replacement below 6.2. Gotta be Palmer then Gordon. Mikey, Doku for a differential, or is he injured? I think we may receive some embargoed quotes from Pep at around 10:30 tonight, but be aware that they do blank in 18, which means I probably wouldn't do the move anyway. Kate going back to Watkins from Alvarez next week. Don't blame you. Kamzib as an Mbermo replacement, I would... 7.1 million. Matoma. News on Son is that we will see. I think he'll be okay. Hamza, is it time to sell Lascelles? If you need him this week, then if you've not got a decent option on your bench, then yeah, I would say so. If it's for free as well. Nick, let's feel sorry for Nick. Last season, my first time getting into football. Work signed me up to a fantasy league and now I'm hooked. 93k in the world. I mean, I should feel happy for people that are converted to FPL, but I do feel sorry for people that are new to it, because it can take over your life. You're joining the pain that the rest of us have been enduring for years. And Burmo to Lascelles for a -4 now. Frederick, is it viable to take a hit to replace Mbermo? My weakest starters are Solanke, Adingra, Martinelli, Palmer, Watkins. I don't think Palmer and Watkins are weak. I think you're okay. Akash, I don't think I'd take the hit with that. I think Louise is fine for this week. Ankit, Darwin, Son, Sterling or Alvarez, who to bench? Maybe Sterling. Mitchell is out for Palace. I feel like that column isn't updating. Oh, no, it is. De Zerbi, Webster still out. Dunk and Dahoud return from bans. That's news from Brighton. Cambies says, is Solanke starting? I don't see any reason why he wouldn't. I've not heard of any issue. Another question from member Neil, long-time member. bit late today. Got a 1 free transfer. Areola and Strakosha as my 2 goalkeeper. And Mbomo, who needs to come out. Got Gordon, Saka, Martinelli and Saka. Palmer and Sanchez for -4. Yeah, that sounds okay. Gary says Newcastle clean sheet odds really rise this Son is out. That is true, to be fair. I didn't think of it that way. McTominay for midfield 5. Don't mind it. She busted. Big fan of the content, thank you. Does a Dingra start this weekend? Oh, who knows with De Zerbi. Who else has he got, though? He's got a few options, hasn't he? I'd like to think so. Things stand, but obviously there's no guarantees. Adama and Rodrigo potentially back for Fulham. Eze is still a doubt. Still in a boot. And Burmo to Lascelles for -4. I wouldn't do that, Brahim. She busted also thinking of replacing Alvarez with Jesus. Have you got Watkins? Mr. Josh, Jimenez a good differential, yes. Best 3 Everton assets ranked. Gosh, we're really going there. On predicted points, it's Decore, McNeil, Harrison. I think I would go Decore, McNeil, Pickford. In that order. Simon says Momo to Gordon and Bowen. I think I would go Bowen. Best Everton mid, Decore. Sterling over Palmer I don't like because of the yellow card sitch. Nick is asking for 3.9 million defenders that are nailed. You're asking for a lot there. Baldock, Amaro Bell, Ekdal, no, Baldock. If I was buying any of those. Hamza, would you sell Trippier for Porro and get Watkins for the long run? Not this week. Maybe next week. Lallana available for Brighton. Salah captain to go against Grain of Haaland. Yeah, I don't think there's as much of a gulf as those poll results suggest. I'm quite impressed that I've managed to basically answer all questions today. If I've answered your question, make sure you've liked the stream. Diop's still out for Fulham. Abby, have Son in my 11. Should I take a -4 to get a bench play in case he doesn't play? No, don't think so. I think upgrading your bench is important, but probably too many fires to fight in the 11 at the moment. Retep says, does a player with a dead leg usually be okay to start? Usually about a week, I think. But it can be longer or shorter. George has done Burmo to Matome. If it goes wrong, it's on me. And if it works out, then he's a genius. How is that fair on me? Nim says, these presses are getting more and more unhelpful. Manager's so tight-lipped, I know. Absolute nightmare. Yeah, Gary's saying Garnacho playing. Rashford will take his place again, and I've got to agree. Yanni, greetings from Finland. Nice to see you. First time watching your live stream. Like and subscribe. Keep up the good work. Nice one. Thank you. And She Busted has gone with the smashing of the like button. Thoughts on Bailey as a differential? I like him short term, but I just feel like long term he'll lose his place. Khalid likes some Burmo to Garnacho. I'm not as keen on that one. In terms of these presses then, still I haven't seen any quotes from Wolves or Luton or Sheffield United. So the Wolves one is a bit weird. Just want to check that I've not missed anything. Can't see anything. It's just a bit frustrating when you're not getting the full picture. But I think we're getting there in terms of updates. So just to recap, Lallana's available for Brighton. Eze is set to miss out again. Fulham potentially a couple returning. Webster still out for De Zerbi, Brighton, but Dunk and Dahoud returning from bans. Mitchell is out for Palace. Rashford won't play every game. Nothing new from Bournemouth. Nkunku probably still a bit tight for him to come back. Few players hopefully back for Everton. Nothing new from Villa. De Bruyne back soon for City. Son, we'll see how he is. He was a bit sore after the game. We'll wait and see what the outcome is. Areola maybe got a chance, but got some ligament damage in his wrist. McAllister out for Liverpool, but Alisson could be back. Tomiyasu out for Arsenal for long term. Lascelles, no new updates at the moment, and Burmo out for weeks. Matip has done his ACL. And I think that's everything that we've got. So seeing as I started at midday, I am going to wrap things up there because I think almost 2 hours of me is plenty. Thank you so much, though, to everyone that has joined today, and particularly those of you that have supported the stream by hitting the like button and subscribing to the channel as well. I really do appreciate all of your support, and I will be back tomorrow at 10 a.m. UK time, 1 hour before the deadline for the press conference, for the deadline stream. That's pinned in the chat now, so make sure you've got the notify button on, because that'll tell you when I go live, because it might be shortly before 10 a.m. And it'd be a bit quieter than some streams as well, so if you've got questions that you want to get asked, it's a good place to do it, and hopefully we'll have some early team leaks for Liverpool as well. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll be back soon.